and I'll make you my best friend. I scream into the nothing edge. There ain't nothing that I need. We're getting the band back together. We're getting the band back together. I wanna hold the hand inside you. You got a fast car. I got a plan to get us out of here. Been working. Mother, I'm coming home. I follow you into the park, through the jungle, through the dark. God, I never loved one like you. Boats and boats and waterfalls, alleyways and payphone calls. I'll be here everywhere with you.
Do-do-do, raindrops keep falling on my head, but that doesn't mean my eyes will soon be turning red.
My divorced parents had no idea we invited them both camping with us 2 hours away. There is literally nowhere to run.
Mom, you excited to go camping with us this weekend?
Yes, I am very.
We Ubered my dad here.
Dad.
What's up, Chava?
It's beautiful out here, nice.
Hola.
What's up, Chava?
You want your mermaid? She's right here. Think of this weekend like a marriage retreat for you guys. This is it. For both of you.
Both who?
You and my dad.
I'll sleep in there by myself.
That you can sleep by yourself outside.
Yeah, better for me. I'll sleep with the coyotes. Last time I do a coyote ugly with her last time.
Oh, you heard him?
Yes. If I met him, he could sleep outside with the perros where you used to sleeping.
Oh. You gonna go in there? My mom made herself at home already. Mom.
What? What?
You gonna go in there? Where are you going?
I'll sleep with the perros.
We Ubered you here. Are you kidding me? There's nothing over there.
I'll buy me a perrita.
Oh.
Ain't nothing new there.
Down. It would be easier. Oh, sure.
What are y'all doing now?
We're gonna send this to Carrie.
Carrie was the one that broke up y'all's marriage?
Put your hands in the air. Put your hand. This is my dad, guys. He's signing some papers. What does it say? Oh.
Is that your dad today?
Yeah.
Is he coming?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know he'd be here. When did Dad say he was coming to the conference?
Last night.
Did he call you?
Yeah.
Yep, I didn't get a call from him. And he's late, figures.
Oh, look who it is.
Oh, and you're 10 minutes late.
Hey, Scout.
So when did you decide you were gonna come?
Yeah, last night.
I thought you hated these things.
Nah, not anymore.
Interesting. Also, your name tag's over here. Yeah, you're sitting with us. Sorry, I know how you hate sitting with us.
Son, you didn't tell me your teacher was so pretty.
Also, the teacher and I are the same age, by the way. I know how you like them younger. What, sweetie? No, Daddy is not gonna be dating your teacher, right? This is Johnny. I'm his mother.
We're his parents.
Okay, X. We're X. We are X. So, anyways.
Yeah, we're super hype, super chill.
Ex-husband. I hope you've been listening to the carpool schedule.
Yeah, I have.
Okay, well, because I don't want to have to come pick him up when you don't remember to come pick him up because you're out gallivanting with your assistant or something. Okay, but you don't deny that you were gallivanting around with your assistant. I saw you.
What?
I loved meeting your teacher.
Yeah, kiddo, this is gonna be great.
Okay.
Mom, can we all get a lunch?
Yo.
I don't know.
You're 5 minutes late. What the hell? Hi, baby. How are you? Did you have fun or did you hate it? Can you turn that down? What the heck is playing? Oh my gosh. All right, come on, let's get out. Hi, babe. Why is she wearing one shoe?
I don't know.
Okay. Every time. I swear, I've lost more shoes. Does your weird dog eat them? Did you get her Sonic?
Yeah.
She doesn't eat Sonic. Sonic is bad. Stop doing that. Carl, where's her bag?
It's in the back.
Why are you... Make sure everything's in here. Nope, she's missing like 5 items. Where is your notebook? The red notebook I gave you to give Daddy. You don't know. Do you even see the notebook I told you about? 1 second, I need to talk to Daddy. No, see, every time she comes home from your house, she's talking back. I've been really lenient with shoes, weird dog, binder problems. What? Daddy brought his girlfriend? Which girlfriend did he bring? Red or black? You brought this psychotic redhead to your house when our daughter's there? I'm tired of it. No, you have ballet. You have ballet in 10 minutes. Well, if Daddy wasn't late, then you could stay and say bye a little longer. Sorry, Carl. Call me tomorrow. We need to talk through some things. Dump the redhead. She's psycho. Come on.
We didn't fight until we had a kid. Kids bring out a different side of you, especially newborns.
Yeah, I think they absolutely do. And it's funny because you usually get a lot of like pushback from, oh, kids are wonderful, the greatest thing in the world. And yes, they add so much to your life. I would never, I don't even remember what it was like to not have kids. However, they do add a lot of stress and you need to have a lot of patience. And for many people, it takes some time to do that. So yes, it does add a lot of stress to a marriage, and that is precisely why I'm saying your marital relationship needs to be a rock when you start having kids and cars and mortgages and overtime and ball games and like all these other stressors are added to your life. Your foundation with your relationship needs to be solid.
Do you know why women are filing for divorce so much more than men right now? Because they're tired. They are tired of doing it all. And I mean everything. Going to work, taking care of the kids, parent-teacher conferences, doctor's appointments, everything, you name it, they're doing it and they don't have the help. Why would a woman want to stay married to somebody who is doing the bare minimum? Not getting the kids together, not taking them to school, not going to parent-teacher conferences, not doing the laundry, not cooking, not doing anything. Why? Because if they can do it on their own, they don't need another child to raise. They can still do it on their own.
I'm done hoping we could work it out. I'm done with how it feels, spinning my wheels, letting you drag my heart around and oh, and I'm done thinking.
Would you divorce your husband or wife if you found out that they cheated on you 60 years ago? Well, that's what this man did. He found old letters from his wife in a drawer about an affair that she had 60 years ago, and despite them being together for 8 decades, he filed for divorce. Would you do the same?
I got divorced when I was 30 years old, and the hardest part about it was the guilt, shame, and regret cycle after the divorce. And this is a natural occurrence for the end of a divorce or a relationship, where you start to regret never being with that person, and then also feeling guilty and shameful for how you showed up. Ultimately, this cycle is going to be never ending until you choose to take responsibility for how you showed up in the relationship. Healing begins with responsibility, and until you have the courage to make that choice, that guilt, shame, and regret cycle will continue.
God was one of us.
Stop!
God loves me, you know that.
I know that God loves you, and I love you, but shut the fuck up.
What a stranger on the
Stop,
bus.
Smitty! You're not gonna get an accurate reading. Quit being a fucking clown.
Look. There I am. Leave me alone. What is it?
Be quiet!
I'm getting tired of this. Is it over?
It's almost over. Okay.
Is it good? Thank God we went through that.
Okay, but you do need to take your...
Oh, yeah. Oh, take my arm off. Okay.
Is it true that men only file for divorce when they have another woman lined up and that women want to be alone when they get divorced?
I would be cautious to say only, but I think that women tend to think about divorce for a much longer span of time prior to actually filing. So they've thought about what their life will look like after divorce. They've come to the conclusion that they're better off alone most of the time. And I think most of the time with guys, they don't contemplate divorce and think about it most of the time and plan out, hey, I want to be divorced. What's my life going to look like? It is a situation like, oh, I'm in love with another woman and now I want to be divorced. So more likely for women to think about it and really plan and be comfortable with being alone, whereas on average for guys, that's really not the case.
So I'm officially one of those people that has a better relationship with their ex-husband than I did when I was married to him. Forgive me while I eat my feelings. And I would meet other people out in the wild that had this kind of relationship with an ex-husband, and I would be like, well then why are you divorced? I can call him and he'll pick up. I can have a conversation with him and he'll hear me. And I don't know how to put it in words, but I can tell you I wasn't good with him when I was married, but we have an incredible friendship and I'm so grateful for it. Maybe it doesn't make sense to you, but it makes sense to me. Some people aren't meant to be coupled. Pretty sure I'm one of them. And one of you out there is going to put it in better words than I can. You don't have to be married to someone to have a really amazing relationship with them. Sometimes you are married to them and then you get divorced and it's a whole big thing and then you become friends and it's better than it ever was. So yeah, that's officially what I am now.
You know what I wish a lot of parents that are divorcing and have older kids understood? Who are fighting about visitation time. You are essentially fighting over where your kid sleeps. Because once they hit high school and they're active in activities and they have friends and they have a job, your kid literally comes home to sleep. I mean, I grew up in the 90s. And we went cruising every night and we came home at 10 o'clock at night, whatever our curfew was, on a school night. We literally would go to school, go to our practices, come home, eat dinner in warp speed, go back out and cruise town and hang uptown and loiter back in the day when it was allowed. And we would literally just sit uptown with our friends and come home at 10 o'clock at night, sleep and do the same fucking thing the next day. Kids are still doing that. They're just not cruising town anymore. They're just going to friends' houses and they're hanging out and they're doing things and they're going to movies and they're seriously just being kids. Just because you're going through a divorce doesn't mean they're going to sit next to you on the couch and spend your visitation time with you. Your kids will still do activities. They will still go be in sports and they will still want to go have sleepovers and they will still want to go hang with their friends. When they get to a certain age, you will no longer become cool. So for those of you that have older children and you are knee deep in paperwork and court dates and litigation and lawyers, you are literally fighting for your children to sleep at your house. There are moments in the month and weeks that I have with my teenage daughter that I literally only see her as she comes in, goes to the shower, comes out, grabs food, and then goes to bed. And I literally get her in that passing period. And then she gets up so early to go to school, it's like, hi, bye, see ya. Like, can you imagine spending a shit ton of money and fighting over, oh, you're fighting over that. You're fighting over where you're gonna watch your kids sleep. And I get it, it's important to, but I just want to just shed some light on it, that once they are active and doing normal teenage stuff, they are never home. They are never home. They are never with you, because that's what kids do. That's what normal kids do. They go be a part of things and be around other people and be normal teenagers. Now, I will say there are those parents that say, hey, this is my visitation time, you sit your butt right here. And those kids are sitting there staring a hole at the back of your head, wishing horrible things because all they want to do is to be out with their friends or be on their phone in their room talking to their friends, because that's what teenagers do. So really think about the age of your children and what you're fighting for. Just my own 2 cents now that I've done it.
What do you do when you're an adult child and your parents, seemingly out of nowhere, after a very happy 30-year marriage, decide to separate? One-sided, actually. Your dad's leaving your mom. This week's newsletter, which if you prefer to read on your own rather than listen to me read it, you can do that at the link in my bio. It's from a 25-year-old who feels stuck in the middle of her parents' separation. Reading some pieces from her letter now. The news was initially shocking and devastating for me, but that's not what I'm writing to you about, Hayes. What I'm struggling with is if and how I should maintain independent relationships with each of my parents. I want to be supportive to my mom as she's in really bad shape, crying for hours and hours, unable to get out of bed. She kind of expects me to take her side. On the other hand, my dad says he wants to keep my sister and I out of this, which I really appreciate. I don't want to hear about the details of my parents' marital disputes, and I resent my mom for crossing boundaries and sharing things with me a child shouldn't have to hear. I'm disappointed in my dad. The way he's treating my mom is terrible, but that doesn't mean I don't want to have a relationship with my own father. How do I approach this? Am I a terrible person for wanting to maintain a relationship? Yours, Stuck in the Middle. And this is my response back. Dear Stuck in the Middle, my parents separated when I was in 7th grade and divorced shortly after. I was 12, but I felt much older, aged by the experience of seeing my parents as real people. Childhood shifts when your parents are not just parents, but whole humans who are fragile and flawed and doing their best just like everybody else. Divorce will do this, but so does death and loss and depression and despair, the fun stuff. The benefit of experiencing divorce when you're young is that the community rallies around you, or at least they're expected to. For the parents involved, there are rules about how you're supposed to engage with your children. Don't talk shit about each other in front of them. Be positive. They can come out of this unscathed if you just behave yourself. Not all parents oblige, but the fact that they're supposed to means something. When parents of grown children get divorced, however, all bets are off. There's less sympathy, less leeway for the adult children, and I believe it's because you're expected to behave and react like an adult that you begin to feel like a child again. Did you notice that you referred to yourself as a child in your letter? I resent my mom for sharing things a child shouldn't have to hear. Factually, yes, you are your mother's child, but you are also an adult, your prefrontal cortex in its final stage of maturation. You're thinking of yourself as a child because in most of the core memories you have with your parents as a happy and married couple, you were. How confusing this must feel, stuck in the middle. I can imagine it makes you question every moment that mattered, every fact you assumed to be true in your household. You say your shock and devastation is not the point of your letter, but I think it is. At least it's an essential point. Your grief matters, my love. It matters. Your parents' divorce is going to change your life just as it's changing theirs. They are not the same parents you knew when you were young, and if you're feeling the grief of a child right now, you need to allow yourself to feel it. You are grown, but you are also small, in the same way that our parents are ours, but they are also their own. It's not wrong that you want to maintain a relationship with your dad. He's your dad. I don't know if anyone ever stops wanting to have a relationship with their father, even the people for whom that truly is not possible. For you, it's possible. But as I said, your relationship with him is shifting into a new season. You've known him as your dad, your mom's husband, but now he's your dad, a man. He'll always be your father, and you have every right to love him and accept him, even if you wish he acted differently. You are not betraying your mother by holding on to that relationship. It is yours and it is precious, and I think you must protect it. I believe that deep down your mom knows that too. When she asks you to ice him out, she's speaking from a place of deep shock and hurt and fear. I believe she will come around, but until she does, you must communicate your boundaries for how you can support her. Be direct about them. Do you know how you can support her? Of what pain of hers you can stand to hear? Are you able to sit with her on the phone while she cries or listen to her fears for the future? If it's too much right now, then I think for the sake and longevity of your relationship that you can tell her so. Or perhaps your boundaries are more focused on how you'll interact with your father on her behalf. I hear that you don't want to disown or reject him, that you don't want to be put in the middle. Tell her this explicitly. It might sound something like, Mom, I love you. This is hard for all of us in different ways. We're navigating a new situation for the first time. I've given this a lot of thought, and I want to support you as best as I can, but I cannot speak to Dad on your behalf, and I will not shut him out of my life. I'm angry with him too, but I need to navigate my relationship with him as his daughter. And then you must hold your boundary, which is the real test. You cannot control their behavior. You might set this boundary with your mom and she might get defensive. She might still ask you to intervene from time to time. You can hug her and love her and tell her no. You can decide not to pick up the phone if she calls you in the middle of the workday. You can tell your father you need some space from him because you're angry. You can say, I love you, but I don't like you right now. You can do whatever you need to do, because while your emotions might feel like a child, while you might want to be soothed like you were when you were a kid, you are grown. And grown people don't always do what their parents tell them. Yours, Hayes.